Good morning. This is David Wayne. I am about ready to start this webinar, so just wanted to say good morning to everybody. It's been a while since we've done a live webinar with Mutual of Omaha, so I've asked Sandy Petrie from Mutual of Omaha, which is the Life Brokerage Sales Director for Mutual of Omaha, to join us today and talk about their life products. And in particular, we're going to talk about the Term Answers and Term Express today. And the reason that we're doing this webinar, because the fact is they readjusted their rates on the Term Answers, and since they've done that, we have been inundated with calls and requests for quotes on their life product in their Term Answers program. So the amount of interest has grown really, really big since they readjusted their rates, and we wanted to make sure everyone knows about the tools that they have for these products and just where they fit in the marketplace, and also the quoting tools and things like that you all know what's out there from Mutual of Omaha. So with that being said, I'd like to bring Sandy on the phone and have her go through her product with you guys. I do have one housekeeping item, and that is we have everyone muted because we get so much feedback from people talking and that type of thing. At the end of the presentation, if you put in your PIN number, I am going to unmute people that put in their PIN number. If you didn't put in the PIN number, I won't be able to unmute you. But if you did, I will do that, and you can ask questions at that time, and we'll get them answered for you. So with that, Sandy?
Oh, great. Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. As Dave had indicated, I'm going to talk to you today about our Term Life Answers product. So I'll talk about the product features. I'll also talk about the underwriting strengths. I'll talk a little bit about some marketing material that we have available. And I do want to go through a case study with you as well. So Term Life Answers. This is our fully underwritten term product that is available in a 10, 15, 20, or 30-year product. In February, as Dave mentioned, we repriced this product to be at the top of the spreadsheet for the Preferred Plus, risk class, Preferred Non-Tobacco, and Standard Non-Tobacco risk classes. So when we reprice, what we typically do is we focus on specific ages. So in this case, we repriced to be the most competitive on both male and females between the ages of 40 and 60 for the 10 and the 20-year product, and males and females ages 30 to 50 for the 30-year product. Now, what this means to you, a lot of people like to quote Preferred Plus or Preferred, which is fine, but as you know, most people don't qualify for Preferred Plus or Preferred. They're more than likely going to be Standard. But because of this repricing in our competitive position in the Preferred Plus, Preferred, and Standard risk class, you can feel comfortable about quoting Preferred or Preferred Plus, and if the client does come back as Standard, we're still going to be the most competitive or right at the top of the charts when you're looking at our rates compared to the major competitors that are out there. We also, when we repriced in certain bands. So face amounts, 250 and above, 500,000 and above, and $1 million and above. So what I want to do now is I want to show you how competitive we are. So hopefully you can see this, but if not, all you need to think of is green, all right? So the green indicates ranking of 1 to 3. So where 1 is the most competitive, 2, and then 3. The other colors indicate, 4 and above. So remember, I had indicated when we repriced this, what we did is we looked at the 10, 20, and 30-year product. So that's where you see the majority of the green. We also looked at 250,000 and above, the 500,000 and the $1 million band. Now these rates right here, these are the male Preferred Plus non-tobacco rates. So as you can see, in almost every case, we are number one, which means that our price is at the top of the chart when you're looking at the major competitors in the term market. There's a few cells in the Term Life Answers 30. For some of the younger ages, like 30 to 35 in the 250 band, there's some 3s and 2s in there. But otherwise, our reprice is exactly what we wanted to do, be the most competitive. Okay, now here are the male preferred non-tobacco rates. And again, look at the 10, 20, and 30-year product. Now, the 15-year product, I'm going to mention this. We don't sell a lot of the 15-year product. The majority of the sales are coming in on the 10, 20, and 30. So that's why we did not reprice on the 15-year product. But again, as you can see, for the Term Life 10 and 20, almost every single cell were top of the spreadsheet. Also on the 30, there's one cell in here in which we're not. We're level 2. And then also here on the 10, there's a couple 2s. All that means, though, it could be pennies difference between the competition and our price. So keep that in mind as well. Now, I did mention the 3 risk classes that we repriced in. So this right here is our standard plus non-tobacco risk class. We did not reprice this particular product. So as you can see, some of our competitive position were in the 2s, 3s, sometimes 4s, maybe even a 5. But again, when you look at the major carriers in this risk class, sometimes the difference might be significant, but sometimes it's not that significant at all. And again, when we reprice, we have to target certain cells. We can't be number one in every single cell. But we think where we have repriced, we'll get the most bang for your buck when you're out there talking with your clients. Now, these are the standard rates. All right? Again, the majority of the time we're either 1, there's some 2s in here on the 20-year product and a couple 2s in here on the 30-year product. But again, extremely competitive. I think you'll be very, very happy when you do look at our rates compared to some of the other competition out there. But, you know, not only our rates are competitive, but some of the other features and tools that we have are also very beneficial and will make your life a lot easier, I think. So you do have the ability to backdate up to 6 months. So if somebody just had a birthday and just turned a year older, you can backdate that up to 6 months to save age, so you can get them the lowest premium that you possibly can. Some clients might not understand that, but if you look at the premium difference, especially if you're going from a significant age like 49 to 50, there can be significant difference in the premiums. So it's sometimes better in the long run to go ahead, backdate to save age. They might have to pay a couple months premium up front, in which, you know, that's already passed. However, in the long run of a 20-year term or a 30-year term, it's going to be more beneficial to them. Also, with this product, we have an e-app that's available. So there's 2 different parts. You can do the fully underwritten e-app, ask all of the medical questions on the e-application, obtain an email signature through the system, and go ahead and submit it. There's also what's called a speed e-ticket. That is a drop ticket process. All that means is that it's basically like an order to take an application. So enter the information into the system. Once that's entered, you just enter their name, address, some beneficiary information, maybe some financial underwriting information, and go ahead and submit that. It goes to a third-party vendor, EMSI. They contact that client within 24 hours. They ask all of the medical health questions on the application. They schedule a paramed, and they have that person go out and conduct the paramed, they obtain the client's signature. So it's an easy way to take an application and actually pass the majority of the work on to EMSI. And there's no additional cost for this to you. Commissions are the same, and there's no additional cost to us either. I mean, it's a speedy ticket. So we take care of all of that for you. With Term Life Answers, there's a waiver of premium for unemployment that's built into the policy. So it doesn't cost anything for this rider, but it's a nice little perk. What that does is if your client should become unemployed and they're receiving state unemployment benefits, then we will waive their premiums for up to 6 months. Also included with this policy is the accelerated benefit rider for terminal illness. What that does is if the person has a life expectancy of 12 months or less, they can accelerate up to $1 million or 80% of the face amount. And then the policy would end, of course, but they could use that money at a time when they might need it the most. Also, with Term Life Answers, we have a very generous conversion opportunity. So let me tell you about. Okay, Term Life Answers. For the Term Life 10, they can convert before age 75 or during the first 2 years after the policy is issued, whichever is later. For the 15 and 20, they just have to convert before age 75. And then the Term Life 30, just convert during the first 20 years. So ours is a little bit different in that those ages are more competitive than some of the other carriers that are out there. With ours, they can convert to the most competitive product that we have available, including our most competitive Guaranteed Universal Life product. There's no additional underwriting. And the best thing yet, as long as that term coverage has been enforced for 1 year prior to conversion, the conversion is available for first-year commission. So think about it like this. If they have $1 million policy and they want to convert part of it, maybe only $500,000 to permanent coverage through our GUL coverage, they can do that. They can keep the other $500,000 of term in force for the duration of the term that's left. So there's a lot of flexibility with this, and especially with younger families that need larger face amounts of coverage, but they might not be able to financially afford it at that time because they are just starting out in their careers, a new house, maybe a family. Term is a great answer for them, but in order to protect their future insurability and not lose that term coverage at the end of the term, this is a great opportunity to go back and revisit your clients that maybe purchase a term from you, see if their needs have changed, convert some or part of it to a permanent coverage through our GUL. Okay, so we have a great product, great rate. We have all the tools that are available to you with the e-application and the conversion privilege, but we also have great underwriting, and we're very strong in under certain conditions. So as far as the medical underwriting goes, we're very good at underwriting tobacco, especially people who occasionally smoke cigars. So what they look at is maybe celebratory cigars, so maybe 1 cigar a month, or they're out playing golf with their buddies and they're smoking a cigar. Occasional cigar users can qualify for Preferred Plus, Preferred, and Standard Plus non-tobacco rates. Keep that in mind because that's huge. A lot of people do smoke cigars occasionally. Marijuana may also qualify for standard non-smoker rates, believe it or not. There's quite a few people, maybe it's a medical marijuana use, but they can typically qualify for standard non-tobacco rates. And we have preferred tobacco rates available. So most other carriers only have maybe standard tobacco, but we go all the way up to preferred when you're looking at the various risk classes. Family history is big when you're looking at it from a medical underwriting standpoint. So most carriers, when they look at family history, they look at a diagnosis rather than disease. So we only look at the family histories of people who have passed away from a disease rather than being diagnosed with a disease. And family history really doesn't even apply in our situation if the person is age 60 or over for preferred plus, preferred, or standard. And history of deaths due to diabetes can qualify preferred plus, preferred, and standard plus. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with diabetes, but it does tend to run in families. So if there is somebody who is diagnosed and they had deaths in their family due to diabetes, it's not going to hinder them from getting the best possible risk class available to them. All right, so some health conditions that we are very good at underwriting. We're very good at underwriting mild asthma. Okay, mild asthma may be eligible for preferred. We're very good at sleep apnea, especially for people who have verified CPAP usage. Typically not an issue. They can get preferred as long as they're using that CPAP like they're supposed to. Treatment for cholesterol or hypertension can qualify for preferred plus, preferred, or standard plus classes. We use a unisex build chart, and blood pressure issues are no problem. I mean, as long as they're controlled, whether it be with treatment or medications, that's fine. We're very good at underwriting that condition as well. And then when you get into pilots, commercial pilots for regularly scheduled passenger airlines can qualify for preferred classes with an aviation exclusion rider, and private pilots can qualify for preferred plus, preferred, or standard plus, also with an exclusion rider. Now, we also have preferred classes for scuba divers. I don't know how many scuba divers you know, but there are some out there. And then age last birthday advantage. That is big because we look at somebody's actual age instead of their age nearest. And then also with the ability to backdate 6 months, that's a huge advantage when you're looking at the premiums for a particular individual. Okay, I do want to talk to you about the FIT Underwriting Credit Program. Okay, this program we've had out there for about 5 years, and actually about 75% of the cases come in, qualify, and are able to get FIT underwriting credits. So to qualify for this, the client just has to be between the ages of 18 and 75. The minimum face amount, $100,000, maximum $5 million. They have to be current non-tobacco users, and their base rating after normal credits has to be table 4 or less. So table 1, 2, 3, or 4 is the clients that are going to benefit from this underwriting program. Okay, it doesn't apply to flat extra ratings or those with CAD prior to age 50 or type 1 diabetes or rateable substance abuse, stroke, or cancer histories. Okay, so basically it's for people with mild impairment. Okay, so we're really good at underwriting diabetes, for example, type 2 diabetes, and we're really good at underwriting sleep apnea. So maybe that particular person is rated maybe a table 1 or a table 2. They can use this FIT underwriting program to help them get a better risk class. So how it works is we look at lifestyle characteristics. So if the person goes to the doctor regularly and follows the doctor's instructions and is compliant, that's a characteristic. So that's could be considered 1. No tobacco use for the past 10 years. They have an income of $100,000 or a net worth of $1 million, either one or the other, and a preferred or better driving record. So those are the lifestyle characteristics. And then we get into medical characteristics. So when we're looking at the medical characteristics, we do look at deaths from disease prior to age 70. We look at their cholesterol. We look at their A1C test, which is a test for diabetes. Serum albumin levels are used to indicate liver disease, so we look at those levels. We also look at the cardiac testing, GXT test, that's better known as a treadmill test. BNP, what that test does, it measures how well the heart is working. The CBC, that stands for complete blood count. It's a blood test used to evaluate the overall health. So, when you're looking at these, you're like, most people won't know what those are. Well, if we're getting a pyramid, we're getting a blood drawn, so we're going to know that information, and we don't apply those credits until after we've underwritten like we normally would underwrite. So after we come back and we determine that a person is, say, Table 2, okay, for example, we know pretty much their medical history. We can pretty much tell from the application if they meet any of the lifestyle characteristics. And we go ahead and apply the FIT underwriting credit after those the normal underwriting. So what happens then is if there are 2 characteristics, they get a 2-table credit. If there are 3 characteristics, they get a 1-table credit. So they could actually be a Table 2, and if they have 5 of these characteristics, they can go down to standard. So when you're looking at the premiums, that's a significant difference in the premiums. Even a 1-table credit is 25% less in premium. So keep that in mind, and always try to submit the FIT test. There is a little FIT test that you can find on our website and submit that with the app. Or if you don't, as I mentioned, the underwriter will try their best to apply FIT credits once they get the application in and the pyramid. All right. Now, I know you guys are familiar with fact finders, but I really like this particular fact finder that we have available for you. The reason I like it is it lays it out very nicely, and it includes charts. So if you need to figure out how much life insurance coverage you're going to need for $2,000 a month of income or income replacement for 15 years, it'll tell you right here. So you don't have to worry about calculating that. So the way this works is you look at your family's desired monthly income, knowing that the mortgage is paid, education's taken care of, personal debt's taken care of, etc. It takes into account other sources, maybe the spouse working or working part-time. It also looks at the mortgage, which is easy, immediate cash needs for liabilities such as car payments, emergency fund. A lot of people forget that emergency fund. So what if there's an unexpected expense such as the air conditioning broke down, or the new roof needs to be put on the house, or there's medical expenses that need to be covered. And then there's final expenses, of course. And then education fund. And again, this is great because it tells you what the cost of education is going to be today, in 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. And it lists out like public college, private college, Harvard. I know I'm not sending my children to Harvard, so I always just exclude that one. But it's a good ballpark, and it also takes into account inflation. So what is the cost going to be in 10 years or 15 years for a public education for my child? You know, if you look at this chart, it's $114,000. So a lot of people don't realize the cost of education. So this is a good ballpark so they can get close to what's needed. And then on the side here, you just look at total needed for income continuation in the first section, your mortgage, immediate cash needs, and then education fund, and you come up with a total. You subtract whatever they have existing and any savings, and then that's the total life insurance that they need. The nice thing about this is most people think that they have enough life insurance, but when they go through this exercise, it really opens their eyes as far as what they actually need for life insurance. All right, I'm going to show you an example of that towards the end of today's presentation. We also have brochures. This is a trifold brochure that talks about our term life answers, some of the features, and what would your family's financial needs be and wants be if something should happen. Okay, David mentioned some of the quoting software that we have available. Term life answers can be quoted on our WinFlex software. That software can be downloaded from our website. It has every product available that Mutual of Omaha has available on the WinFlex software. So not only our term life, but also our whole life and our GUL policies. However, if you feel more comfortable using a rate book and a calculation sheet, we have that available on our website as well. And then we also have a quoting app. Now, I do want to mention this, the simplified term and simplified whole life and children's whole life products are on this quoting tool currently, but we are going to be expanding that and under discussions about adding the term life answers to this tool. But I did want to make sure that you were aware of it, just in case you write some of our other products for one thing. But it's very, very simple. All you need to do is available for Apple and on Google Play. So just go to the App Store or Google Play, search for Mutual of Omaha. The app is called Quotes for Sales Professionals. You might see another app out there that says Sales Tools. That's our Medicare Supplement quoting app. So if you're looking for that, that's out there too. So just keep in mind there's two. One of them is for the life products. That's called Quotes for Sales Professionals. The other app is under the name of Sales Tools, and that's our Medicare Supplement quoting app. So definitely take advantage of that. It's a lot easier, I think, especially if you're talking with a client, to use that mobile app and get your quote rather than trying to hand calculate it, or you might not be able to get to WinFlex where you're at, just depending on if you have internet connection. All right, so I'm going to give you a little case study here. All right, so you have a 30-year-old male, non-tobacco. He has a need for a 30-year term coverage. He's married with a 3-year-old child. He's in the preferred risk class. Bob's annual income is $55,000, and his wife's annual income, she works part-time, is $20,000. All right, this might look familiar. So this is the fact finder. So it says, what will your family need as a desired monthly income, knowing that the mortgage, education, personal debt, and other expenses will be immediately funded? I said $5,000. Okay. What monthly income would your family receive from other sources? Okay, so this is the wife's monthly salary. Calculate the monthly income to be replaced by subtracting step 1 and step 2. So $3,334 is what's needed for income replacement. So down here on this chart, for $35,000 per month for 15 years, it's $444,437. Okay. The mortgage is $175,000. The amount to pay off personal debt, maybe credit cards or car loans. I put $10,000 in here as an emergency fund. Again, that's maybe for the roof, the air conditioning. Other expenses, this would be final to cover a funeral if this person should pass away. So that's $30,000. And then they have a 3-year-old child. So we're looking at a public college. You know, we're definitely not going to go for Harvard at over $400,000. But a public college in 15 years, $114,000 plus dollars. And the way this fact finder is laid out, all you do is you add up the 4 different categories, you get your total, subtract existing coverage, subtract savings or other liquid assets, and you come up with an additional amount of life insurance that's needed, $500,000. So, in this scenario, this happens in real life too. People think $250,000, that's going to cover my mortgage, but they might not realize some of the other things that need to be covered as well. So the question right here, how much can you set aside each month to satisfy all these needs? And the person says $50 a month. Well, that's awesome. You just go to your WinFlex software, you put in $500,000 as a death benefit, and it's $43.97 per month. So very affordable to cover those needs that really need to be covered for this particular family. Don't forget about the wife as well. Her income definitely comes into play in this family, and especially with the child. Now, look at the options. So years from now, maybe 5 years down the road, he can convert all of this or part of this to the guaranteed universal life without any underwriting, so he has that permanent coverage. The GUL, you might not be familiar with this, but I talked about this during our last presentation, has that accelerated benefit for terminal and chronic illness. So if the person should become chronically ill and are unable to perform 2 of the activities of daily living, they can accelerate part of their death benefit to help with the cost of that. This product also has a guaranteed refund option rider. So how that works is at year 15, 20, and 25, if the client wanted to, he can surrender the policy and get 50% of the premiums back in year 15 and 100% of the premiums back in year 20 and 25. So there's a lot of options with this particular coverage, especially in this example for a young couple who's just starting out, starting a family with a brand new home, and that conversion opportunity and the underwriting strengths that United of Omaha has. Okay. That's all I had for the presentation. I'll turn it over to Dave for any questions.
Thanks, Sandy. Thanks very much. A couple of quick notes here, and I'm going to try to unmute in case anyone has questions here, is about 10 minutes into the presentation, I got kicked off. And I don't know if any of you did too, but I didn't lose the screen or anything, just the phone. So I apologize. We are recording this. You should be able to pick up the whole recording because of the fact that that program was still running. I just redialed in and got back in. Took me a few minutes, and so hopefully no one else experienced what I did. In the meantime, I also wanted to mention that if you guys do have, which a lot of people do have these smartphones out there, that adding that quote program onto their phone, so whenever you're out talking to people or just someone might bring up a question, it's nice to have on there. It doesn't have the term answer on there, but it does have the term express, and it does have the final expense plan called the Living Promise, which we're seeing a lot of people do a lot of business with too. So it's an easy program to work with and come up with a rate. The WinFlex is great because it has all the other softwares and all the products and that type of thing, but it's more cumbersome, and you can certainly do that at your office or at your home having that software on there. But while you're out and moving around, it's nice to have this other software on your phone. With that being said, we are doing a lot of quotes here at the office. We can also help you with that. There is one thing that I want to mention to you, that if you're doing your own quote, or if you're having someone from our office or someone from Mutual of Omaha, there is an option on that WinFlex that does do a spreadsheet of the 10, 15, 20, and 30-year plans. Again, if the program itself doesn't allow it, for example, I was doing someone the other day and it didn't allow the 30-year and the 25-year or whatever it may have been. It'll put columns in there saying NA, not applicable, but it'll show the other, the 10 and the 15. Or it might show all of them, and that gives you the choice of being able to move around and adjust a premium to your client's needs. So I would definitely ask, if you're asking for the quote, ask them to run that matrix so that you can see the different plans. It's really an easy, all it is clicking a button. So right now I'm going to unmute the phones. If you put in the PIN number, you should be getting unmuted. And if you have any questions, in just a second here, I've got to do quite a few of them, please give me a minute and I will have you unmuted here. Having luck with quite a few of you, so. Okay, there's only been a couple of them I have not been able to unmute. Does anyone have a question for Sandy? Pretty straightforward.
How long is the usual underwriting period?
Oh, our fully underwritten products are about 28 days. There's a lot of variables there, especially with getting the paramets and APSs. So sometimes doctors or offices are not eager to release that information in a timely manner, so that could delay things a little bit. But typically, it's about 28 days.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what CSO table are you using? What's the latest date?
I don't know the answer to that question. I know we're about due to change that, but I really don't know.
Okay.
I can find
can
that
we
out.
get any? Can we get that whole program about the term plan and all those qualitative benefits writing?
I'm sorry. Can you get?
Can we get the benefits, the qualitative benefits that you just went over in writing from a brochure or something?
Are you talking about a copy of the presentation?
Well, yeah, that, and I'd like to have something in hard copy, to look at it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the life insurance for living fact finder you're referring to?
Well, that, and I've got a fact finder, but that'd be fine. But I was thinking about all the variables that you mentioned. There's some there. I've been doing life insurance a long time. I've never seen some of the things you got, and some of the stuff that you have are competitive with other companies. But I'd like to see, in writing, so I don't soon forget it.
Okay, well, a couple of things here. If you'll send me an email, then I'll know who and what to get, who to send it to. There are two booklets that Mutual of Omaha has. One says a product portfolio, and then the underwriting guidelines for life insurance that will also include on that. But Sandy, what he's really asking for is just scenarios. Maybe I don't know if you've got any other than what you did on the presentation.
Yeah, I don't actually have any other scenarios, but I have no problem sharing the presentation with the audience if that's what you would like to do.
Well, I was hoping for something, a hard copy that I could go over, and I guess, would I have to go back to the presentation on the computer again? Is that what you're saying?
No, we can print a hard copy of the presentation.
Oh, okay, that's good,
Okay. Any other questions for anybody?
Do you have any lead programs?
We don't have a lead program. There is some lead prospecting information on our website, and we also work in conjunction with USA Data. And what they can do is prepare a list, like a mailing list, and they can actually do the mailing for you too if you want to. But that's actually a lead generation. So you would need to mail out, whatever it is, 1,000, 2,000 pieces, and the responses would come back to you. But that's available on our website.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this. I cut my teeth on life insurance, and then I got into health insurance, and I'm one of the casualties of Obamacare, and so I'm totally backed away from health insurance, and I'm going to get back into life insurance, and so this product really, really interests me.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that are casualty from Obamacare, so they are looking at new markets and going back to old markets, and maybe that's one of the reasons we're seeing the big uptick to a lot of this types of products. And that's one of the reasons we like working with Mutual of Omaha. You've got a big name, a good name that people recognize. They've got great materials, and they're priced right now. So we definitely want you to take advantage of that. And again, I can't say enough that let me know in an email, david.wayne@yaim.com, and I will make sure you guys get the materials you're looking for and wanting.
David.Wayne?
Yeah, and Wayne is spelled a little bit different for everyone out there. A lot of you know me, but it's W-A-N-E. There's no Y in my last name, so just 4 letters, W-A-N-E.
Okay.
And the Y is the word Y, W-H-Y, and AIM is short for American Independent Marketing, A-I-M.
Okay, David.Wayne, yaim.com.
You got her. You got her.
Okay, that is that's your email?
That is my email, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to need to get a life contract.
Call me at the office, and we'll get it over to you.
Okay. What's your number?
It's 800-672-7202.
Okay. Thank you, David.
You bet.
Hey,
Okay.
David, you said that the PowerPoint presentation that Sandy just went over would be available to us after.
Yeah, absolutely. Send me an
Where
email.
would I find that?
Yeah, just well, 2 things that we're going to do. We're recording this, so we'll put it on our website. It'll be on later today, so it'll be on our website. You go to our website, and there's pre-recorded webinars. But if you send me an email and you want a personal copy sent to you, then I will forward you a copy of the presentation. Either way.
Okay.
But the
Perfect,
recorded session, you would have to go on to our website to listen to again if you'd like to.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
you. You bet. Any further questions? I'm just going to let you know if there's a couple people asking questions and we're not hearing from you. There is about 5 of you that I was not able to unmute. You must not have put the PIN number in. So send me an email, and if there's something I can answer for you or get you, let me know. In the meantime, Sandy, I just want to thank you so much for taking your time and giving us the information on this. We'll continue to do these from time to time with Sandy on different products with Mutual of Omaha. So keep your eyes open for emails stating on the webinars on this, and we'll keep you up to date on this. Thank you all for showing up today. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.